You ready?
We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Jim Flannery. Coach, if you go ahead.
Sure. Well, credit obviously goes to DePaul. I mean, I just told our team they won the game. I don't think we lost it. I mean, they hit 14 out of 16 shots in the fourth quarter, and I know we gave them the one layup at the end, and they hit we gave them a couple of contested layups, but man, they hit some tough shots, and that's why they're as good as they are. They're very skilled, and they're relentless. And I thought we did a ton of really good things tonight. I thought, looking back at the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter, I thought that was probably when the game flipped for sure. We had a 7-point lead, I think 61-54, and then all of a sudden, 2 to 3 minutes into the seventh. So, but anyway, I told our team, I'm keep our heads up. I mean, we've played a really good schedule, and we're due to beat a good team, and hopefully it's not too far down the road.
Matt, we'll start with you for the first question.
Yeah, I guess just in the fourth quarter, what did you see in terms of how they were able to get on such a roll like that after? I mean, it was kind of that type of game, but that seemed to be a different level what they went to there in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, they just went to they kind of ran more of an inside triangle with Morris and Held and Allen and those two, and then they ran some isolations where Morris just made some really, really good plays, and then I thought Allen was a key for them, a kind of a difference maker. She just got eligible at the semester, and we didn't know she was going to play, and she was a really big factor. But really good players making plays, but they just broke us down off the dribble and hit tough shots. I mean, some of those shots Morris hit were really difficult, and Held is a clutch player too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we could have done differently. We finally said we were going to, go off number 35 because we couldn't guard him in the middle of the floor with those three, and they found her and she hit a three, and so I don't know what we could have done differently.
John, you got the next question. Please remember to raise your hand on Zoom so I can ask the questions.
I mean, DePaul is obviously good offensively every season, but I wonder, is their style of play, does it put pressure on you to execute at a high level offensively too, just to kind of keep pace?
Sure, you've got to, we talked as a staff. It's like you're good. They're going to score. Now they give up a lot of easy baskets because they're a high risk defense too, and because of how small they play, Emma was obviously super effective in the post. But I just thought the turnovers at the end of the third quarter and to start the fourth quarter were killers. I thought that's really when they got even more confident. And, I think if we could have held a little bit bigger lead and had better possessions those first couple minutes of the fourth quarter, we would have had a chance, a much better chance. But once they get going, they're tough. But, offensively, we mastered them. Too many turnovers. But again, I think we had 19, and the fewest they'd given up, or the fewest anybody had against them through 6 games was 23. So.
We'll go back to Matt for the next question, and John, you'll follow.
I mean, Emma went bananas tonight. Did you guys implement anything in these, few days of prep that you had after Villanova that helped maybe get her incorporated into what she liked to do, or was it just kind of the flow of the game that she was able to find some spots?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's, I thought she obviously did a lot of good things, but she had a lot of easy baskets off dumps from Tatum or just good post entry passes, and they chose to play smaller on her. And because they press so much, they're cross matched a ton. I mean, they'll have a guard on her, and I thought we did a better job of throwing it in. But again, they're a smaller team, and then when they put Allen in, then our philosophy was to try to get her away from the basket. But we're excited about where what Emma can do and what her ceiling is too.
I'm going to change things up. Greg, you're going to get the next question. So go ahead, Greg.
Okay. Coach, two-part question. One, with this type of game tonight, can you have imagined what kind of an atmosphere there would have been here at Sokol? And two, how envious are you of the men having some fans for their game tomorrow night?
A little bit, because I said before the game, I said to a couple of my staff as we're sitting there, I'm like, man, it's hard to believe this is a televised game because there's just no, nobody there. It doesn't feel like, something that you're going to put on television. So yeah, it'll be nice. I mean, I think, if you watch that game live, you'd appreciate it. And I definitely think that there would have been some, an opportunity for our players to feel the crowd in a game like tonight. But hopefully we'll be able to have a few after Christmas. I think that we at least have that as a plan to go to a few more people after Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Matt, we'll go to you for a question, and then we'll take as many as two more and get to the players. We've got two players as well.
These last two games, you've had some success with that, or I mean, a lot of success with those smaller lineups, and at the 5. And Villanova's, a bigger matchup too, so it's not necessarily matchup based. What do you like about that group so far, or just the fact that you can mix 4 guards with Emma on the floor the way she plays?
Well, I think, we told them it's going to be game to game. I mean, we're going to play 2 bigger teams coming up, Xavier and Marquette, and we'll play more traditional lineups that game. But I just thought from a ball handling standpoint, against a team that's going to press, just having that one more ball handler out there, and then just even matching up defensively, being able to stay in front, contest threes, but stay in front of the ball. I think you're better off playing, if you can, I think you're better off playing 4 guards against them. So, I think going forward, it really will be a game to game thing. So we had a conversation that we're going to play DePaul. We're probably going to play smaller. Next couple of games, we'll play bigger. And then we've got DePaul again, after our next 2. So I don't know. I just think that's probably where we have to be right now with who we have. I thought Morgan Molly was really good tonight. That was great. I think she's practiced better and with more confidence the last week. And so it's good to see her perform at the level that she did too.
We'll take as many as 2 more questions. Anyone? Matt, I'll give you an opportunity. All right. We'll have Tatum Rimbaugh come next.
I had my hand.
Go ahead.
That's all right.
Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to ask. Sorry.
Too slow, man.
I guess when you're looking at this group so far, that I know you mentioned that it's been a tough schedule, but like, how do you keep them? How do you make them understand that? Because I mean, they probably don't understand, like 2 and 6 looks like 2 and 6 to them. How do you help them understand that it's not a 2 and 6 where you guys are flailing? It's more of a 2 and 6 where you've kind of had some opportunities and some injuries, and the schedule's been tough. It's kind of like a perfect storm almost.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about that in the locker room and just said, look, we've played a really good schedule and we're close. We need to start winning games like this, but we're not that far away. And I think just, I think we have enough leadership and people who've been around enough to know that if you can lead DePaul through 3 quarters and, to go on the road and, be right there with Villanova this last week. I mean, I think we're, especially when you consider that we had to, we kind of had to recalibrate with, Carly and Rachel's injuries and Michael being out tonight. So, I mean, I just think it's given other people an opportunity to play, and that's obviously a good thing too. So we'll keep telling them, and I think our players who've been around are going to help our younger players understand that we're really close.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, I was waiting on you. Peyton seems like she's played pretty well these last 2 games. Do you have you seen something different that she feels looks more comfortable? Or, I mean, I know it's a small sample size, but is there something starting, is the light bulb starting to go off a little bit, do you think?
Well, I'm happy that she has. I mean, I think she was starting to doubt herself even in practice because I think she hadn't shot it as well. And, sometimes when you're running away from your shot, then you make mistakes in terms of your decision making. So I thought she did a lot of really good things tonight, and I was happy that first 3 went in. I think that was a real boost for her. But yeah, I thought she played well against Villanova. I think her movement, her off-ball movement has been good, and just you can tell her experience in playing with Tatum and Timmy. So I'm happy for her because it hadn't been an easy start to the season for her. She hadn't probably played at the level that she had hoped. So I think it's good for us going forward because I think she can really help us.
All right, we're going to finish up here with Coach Flannery. We'll have Tatum Rimbaugh step in. We're not even going to break. So, Coach, thank you very much,
you guys. Happy holidays, everybody.
It'll be just a moment for Tatum to jump in here.
Holy.
All right, give me 2 seconds here, and then I know Matt's going to start with the opening question. So, Matt, go ahead.
I wasn't ready to start with an opening question. I guess in the fourth quarter, I guess when DePaul starts getting rolling like that, you've played them a handful of times now to know how hard is it to slow that down once it's rolling the way it is?
It's tough. Knowing that they scored 30 points in the fourth quarter alone and they shot the crap out of the ball, there's only so much you can do. Like probably 8 to 10 of their shots were tough shots, like contested shots. It was also hard. We couldn't really get as going on offense as we wish we would have, but we were in it for most of the game, and it gives us that little bit of hope at the end. But they're a tough component. They're ranked for a reason. They're good, and they shot the crap out of the ball.
John, why don't you go ahead with the next question?
Sorry about that. John, can you go with the next question?
Sure. Tatum, what were you seeing offensively? It seemed like the plan was just to try to get into the heart of their defense and then make a play. But I guess what did you try to do, and how did you end up with 14 assists?
Teammates made shots. Teammates made big shots. Freshmen made huge shots. I give all the credit to Morgan, Temmie, Emma, everybody on our team. Like, I don't get those 14 assists without them. And, Emma was fighting in the post the whole game. She got some really tough buckets, but she also got some really easy buckets just moving without the ball. And that's all we can ask of her.
Matt, we'll go back to you.
Where's your head at right now at 2-6? Like, you guys have had some players out. Obviously, you've missed 3 games. You have the 3 starters out now. Played a tough schedule. Like, what are you making of where you're at right now in terms of results?
Absolutely. What's 2020 without some adversity, right? It's been the craziest year for everybody. Obviously, it hurts and it breaks my heart to see Rachel, Carly, Michael go down. But I think tonight, it just gave us some confidence. It gave us some hope going forward that we are talented and we can compete against really good teams.
I'll take 1 or 2 more questions. Please raise your hand on the Zoom so I can get to you. Seeing none. I got one. One's coming in. Hold on. Go ahead, John.
I just wondered, Tatum, with the way that they play DePaul defensively, how much focus does it require to kind of to avoid turnovers, to avoid getting rushed? How do you keep your composure against a team that pressures the way they do?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. I won't lie. Especially in the full court, like mentally you have to be locked in the entire game. And tonight that I did have some lapses, and my teammates are great at picking me up. Dee Dee, Molly, Chloe, Temmie, also all being able to bring up the ball. It helps a ton, and it takes the pressure off of all of us, I think.
All right, we're going to wrap this up and bring Emma in. Tatum, thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Happy holidays.
All right, we have Emma Ronsick. Matt, remember, this is our first interview. You don't get 25 questions today. And the first question goes to Matt DeMarinis.
Thank you. I mean, I guess you kind of probably feel like DePaul is going to give, because of the way they play defense, they're going to give you a lot of opportunities to, score if you guys can take care of it. How did you settle in tonight? Because it seemed like once you got started, they really threw a lot at you but couldn't stop you.
Yeah, just like in practices during the week, we'll go through scout pretty heavy, and then it's basically just executing the plays and the girls getting the ball where it needs to go. Tatum had 14 assists tonight, so they just found where the ball needed to go and they just got it done.
John, I'm just going to go to you. I know you don't have your hand up, but do you have any questions, John?
Sure. I wonder what this does. I mean, I know it's a loss and that always stings, but to score 28 points, what does that do for your confidence?
It definitely boosts my confidence a lot. Coming in as a freshman is always nerve-wracking, but with the senior leadership and the upperclassmen leadership that I have, honestly, it just feels like another game. Like coming into a game, whether I had 4 points, it's the same as if I had 28. Like they're going to treat me the same. It's going to be basically the same on and off the court. So that's really cool, just knowing that I have that established with all the girls and even the coaches. So that's really, really nice to know.
Before I go back to Matt, Greg, I want to give you a shot real fast. Do you have a question? No. Okay, back to Matt.
Hey, Emma, can you take us through what is going through your mind based on the coverage you see, the type of defender that's guarding you, and how it kind of plays into the motion that you guys are running? Like, what are you reading on the floor in terms of when you decide to go inside and play off Temmie for the bounce pass versus popping off the flare screen for a three?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just we're 3 starters down. Carly and Michael are obviously giving us good minutes with bigs. So them being out makes me and Morgan maybe the only tall girls in there in the game, and Gracie. So just like recognizing who's guarding you, whether there's a switch. So if like I screen for Temmie and her girl screen or switches on me, it just like recognizing who I have on me and like where I need to be placed and where I need to go. And the coaches and the girls have been really helping me out with adjusting to that this year. So it's just really nice knowing that like basically I can go wherever I want to go within the rhythm of what we're running with that offensive set.
All right, we'll take a couple more questions. I'll go back and forth. John, do you got anything?
Yeah, Emma, how did you, I mean, maybe I'll ask this, like, what was the hardest part about sort of getting adjusted or acclimated during the preseason to get yourself ready? Because like once the season started, it seemed like, okay, you're able to be out there and ready to go. How'd you get yourself ready? How'd you kind of deal with sort of the challenges of the preseason?
Yeah, definitely. This preseason was like none other, obviously with COVID and with players being out, whole teams being out with quarantine and stuff. It was just like every day in practice, we wear masks. We like kept working together. We'd hang out like COVID safely outside of practice just to get to know each other better, just get the rhythm going. And then in practice, it started really showing our connection on and off the court. And then it also just stems from the upperclassmen being as good of leaders as they can be, especially it's obviously a hard time for them with the COVID situation, like you never know when like your whole team's gonna be out or how many games they're gonna miss of their senior season. So it's just really like nice knowing that on and off the court, we can go to anyone on the team. And that's really helped me and all the rest of the freshmen just coming into each game in practice, just feeling comfortable around everyone.
Matt, we'll go back to you for the last question.
Unless something's changed in the last 5 minutes, I think your next game is January 3rd. So I don't know if there's a plan in place yet to get you guys home for a holiday break, but I mean, the first part is how much are you looking forward to just hopefully seeing some family over Christmas and kind of getting out of the basketball bubble a little bit? And then how hard has it been to isolate yourself to this degree and be away from your loved ones?
I'll answer part of it and I'll let her answer. I'm not cutting you off, but they are allowed to drive home. Everyone on the team can drive to their home, but they're not allowed to fly commercially. So the team will be released to go be with their families and will return at approximately the 28th, I believe. And I'll let her answer now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice knowing that we have the freedom within the guidelines that we have to get to go home, see my family, and just like be with everyone that I haven't seen for a long time. Like I haven't seen my grandparents since the summer. So it's gonna be really nice just going home, just hanging out, chill week. Not totally away from basketball. I'm gonna try and not like get all the Christmas weight put on and just keep running and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be touching the basketball because it's just nice like having a little break and then coming back and then working even harder, just knowing what you guys can do after you had a little like chill time.
All right, one final question if you guys got it. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.